boys team on the sideline trying to fuel the fire. They've now worked their way all the way down to the sideline, and the boys team has made their way back to their original spot, which is kind of down by that end zone, almost to the far part of your shot there. Another catch for Yeager.
This whole drive has been Grace Yeager. It starts with the reverse, a couple throws into the flat. She's even pitched it back to her teammates, say, hey, I know I'm getting the ball, I want to get you guys involved. Like if you're Willowbrook, at some point you got to say, let's put two on her. Let's force, obviously, Tia Brown went down last game, right? So there's your two big-time playmakers. You can't let Grace Yeager beat you. Easier said than done, right?
Easier said than done. Yeah, she was Team Co-MVP last year. They're looking for the end zone, but intercepted. So Willowbrook, now in the dark uniforms, they flipped from their white to their dark, able to make a big play, backed up in their own end zone. It's Marley Smurs, the captain, who's now going to take over at quarterback. That's not her first interception of the day. She had one in her first game. Here's her second of the day.
And it's been both eyes. Both times she's sitting there as the safety in the middle field. Look at her read the eyes. Almost very similar, eerily similar to her previous interception. She's just sitting back there baiting the quarterback, saying, I dare you to throw it over the middle of the field. And then she has the speed and the awareness to trigger on the football. And, of course, the playmaking ability to come down with it and give her team the ball back.
Those are the spots of the field that win games, too, right, Jake? When you make plays down by your own goal line. Now she's going to try to get out of her own goal line offensively. Had to catch a high snap there. And that's intercepted right back. It's Tia Brown who's back on the field and back in the end zone for a pick six. She has done everything today. Not only on both sides of the ball, on special teams. Here's her first pick six of the day.
Now, I misspoke. I thought I saw her being attended to by the medics over here on the sideline, but she looks pretty healthy. Again, we talk about reading the eyes of the quarterback. Marley Smurs, she did it on defense, but then she allowed Tia Brown the chance when she was quarterback. Tia Brown read her eyes, triggered on it, and then a pick six.
Wow.
Not just the interception, but go ahead and score on defense.
Man, how fun has she been to watch today? Now they're going to go for the extra point conversion. Avery Reed a chance to redeem herself, and does by finding Nia Waldman. See Willowbrook wearing the helmets and Team Vegas not. Let's go down to Taylor for more on that.
Yeah, guys, we've only seen Willowbrook in these helmets, so I did some digging. It's actually a state requirement in Illinois that the girls wear these. They're actually made out of a shock-absorbing foam. They're not a hard helmet like the boys' tackle helmets. They're a softer material. They kind of form to the head a little bit more, but it's actually part of the state requirements for their leagues. And, you know, we've had to do our research preparing for this, and there are different rules and different kind of standards across the country. So it just adds another level to the development of the sport, and obviously these teams getting the opportunity to play each other, learn a little bit more about what other programs are doing. So just another interesting layer to it.
It is interesting. And flag football, again, on track to become an official high school sport in Illinois. So you see different aspects of the foundation being laid on the journey to making that official, which we hope happens soon. This Willowbrook team, they're one of their mantras, they've got multiple, as Smurs able to throw that one to her target there, finding Elizabeth Pettinger for the first time today. One of the mentalities that I love was, what's up, dubs up. It's got rhyme to it, it's energetic. Again, they played in the 42-team Jamboree last weekend and won that. Didn't give them a single first down. And have dominated in the state of Illinois since becoming a program not too long ago.
How about that? You give up a single first down, right? You want to talk about domination. That is the definition of domination. Must have been frustrating for their opponents, right? Not able to get a single first down throughout the tournament. And there they are. What's up, dubs up?
Yep.
Putting up the dub.
What's up, dubs up? Well, they won the Bears Jamboree. Talked about how involved the Chicago Bears have been with the Willowbrook program and just flag football in Illinois in general. Just awesome involvement from the Chicago Bears. Talked to Gus Silva earlier, and and he gave some insight on the relationship between the Bears and Willowbrook. Super cool to see the support from the NFL. Taylor interviewed Ndamukong Suh earlier. Marley Smurs, a little spinorama there. And TJ Hushmanzada, NFL wideout, on the field too today.
I think the cool thing is, right, is you dominate your home state, right? You win the Illinois and the Bears Jamboree, right? So
yeah.
you dominate it so much so that you don't even give up a first down. It hasn't been that easy out there for them, right? But that's the beauty of a challenge, is you get to come out here to the Nike World headquarters, to the Kickoff Classic. You get to play teams from all different backgrounds across the country, and the experience allows you that new perspective. As great as it is to win and throw up the dubs, you can take from this experience to go back and say, hey guys, we can even be better.
Yeah, it's like Irvington, head coach Steele was telling us about their summer and spring camps that they're going to. They're traveling, they're playing other programs. He equated it to AAU basketball. He said it's one thing to dominate within your state, your conference, but to really gauge your talent, to really know if you're the best or close to it, you've got to go all over and play. And opportunities like this, camps that are continuing to grow, are really showing them where they line up. And guys, I can tell you from being down here on the sidelines, these coaches are paying such close attention to what is happening, how they're matching up, because these aren't programs that they get to see very often, but it's high caliber talent, taking it very seriously, and will certainly be able to apply it toward their season.
All around the country, as Taylor mentioned, Irvington been playing all around the country the last several weeks. And Team Vegas, the coaching we just talked about as well. Saw them coaching down to the final seconds of the whistle against Irvington, a game that they won 15-0, but the coaching didn't stop until the final whistle blew. We're into the final minute now of this opening half, which means the clock can stop. First 9 minutes of each half is a running clock. You see Rachel Karras there, the head coach for Willowbrook. She's not only the coach of flag football at the school, she also plays for the Chicago Surge women's football team in Chicago. Trying to watch her team get a defensive stop right now. A nice play defensively over the middle there, made by Emma Anderlich, who's the only senior on the Willowbrook roster this year. That was senior heavy a year ago. Had a superb season, and now they feel like they're just as good, if not better, because of more experience. And Taylor talked about the experience that you can get now with camps and summer work, and when you're in season, when you're out of season. Meanwhile, Avery Reed scrambling, gets taken down, the flag ripped away. Leah Bernardo doing the defensive duties there. Willowbrook in the dark uniforms. Remember, they switched into their darks. Vegas still in their white. Yeager on the catch here.
Vegas has one timeout left, right? So the clock the clock can stop inside a minute. Now they're in plus territory.
Get 2 timeouts per game. Some trickery here. Reed looking deep. Wants it in the end zone. Marley Smurs, though, came over to make the play. Her third INT of the afternoon, second of this game.
Be weary when you are throwing the ball downfield with Marley Smurs sitting in the middle of the defense. You can see her once again just waiting. Such great patience on all 3 of her interceptions throughout the day. And then going up and high pointing it too in traffic, batting it to herself, taking the contact, and then the big smile too to come down with the great interception, her 3rd of the day. That's a hat trick, Jason.
And second right down kind of in her own end zone too. One of them was in her end zone. An interception hat trick from Marley Smurs. Now how about this? She's right back out there, quarterback. Gets her flag ripped away. Nice defensive play there. Jada Grego wraps up the opening half between these 2 teams here in Beaverton at Ronaldo Field. The difference right now is the pick 6 Tia Brown, she was on the sideline. She's definitely healthy now. Has her team up 7-0. Getting back into action here in Beaverton, Oregon. Nike World Headquarters. See some of the tennis courts there, which aren't far from Ronaldo Field. Such a vast, beautiful campus, Jake. Walking around here, feel like you're immersed in a blend of history, the beautiful nature in Oregon, the future of sports simultaneously.
I don't know that I've been on a more beautiful football field,
right?
Jason, surrounded by all this nature. It's a Nike campus, but it's also immersed right in the beautiful Oregon nature.
Nike did an amazing job with this event again. Second year of the Nike Kickoff Classic. Got our crew with you: Jake Butt, Jason Ross Jr., Taylor Davis, here at Ronaldo Field. Nice 85-degree day here in the Pacific Northwest. Getting this second half rolling, just a one-possession game. It's the Tia Brown pick six. We were told she'd make plays on both sides of the ball today, and she's the difference right now. Willowbrook trying to get on the board offensively for the first time today, but it has been the DBs of Vegas saying, we got this covered as we try to go to our secondary.
They were trying to get the ball out to their star, Emma Anderlich, who offensively has had a bit of a quiet day. Right? We know that she is their star, she is their leader, she is their upperclassman. As you mentioned, Willowbrook has not been able to score yet today. I think they need to lean on their star, number one, Emma Anderlich, a little bit more here in the second half.
Well, Mark Smurs down. It's enough for the first down.
With the running clock, this is just a big drive, right? There's so few possessions promised. You may not get the ball back again, right? Still one possession game. here's your chance as you wind down this second half of your last game today, the chance to go score and go tie it up.
Willowbrook allowed 21 points all of last season defensively. On offense, trying to get the momentum rolling, as Jake mentioned. Graduated 13 seniors last year. Again, they just have the one this year. Emma Anderlich, gain of 9 there. Finding a rhythm right now in this big drive in the second half with a running clock. Rachel Karras, their head coach. Smurs looking for Anderlich this time and has her quickly brought down with a pursuit to the ball from Vegas defensively. We saw it kind of ingrained in their mindset in practice yesterday, and they play with a lot of energy, they practice with a lot of energy. Smurs again, trying to spin out of trouble there. Saw Malia Browner in the mix that last play. Again, she's the daughter of the boys head coach for Bishop Gorman. Of course, the boys play tomorrow. They're in attendance right now, trying to root on their team to a second victory in as many tries. It was a Willowbrook first down, so they keep moving the chains here on what they hope is potentially a game-time drive. There's Tia Brown on your screen, who's been the difference maker today for Vegas. She has the pick 6. You like the tempo right now, Jake?
Yeah, there's a sense of urgency, which we were talking about to start the drive, right? Listen, the possessions aren't promised. You're still within a one-score game here, a chance to go down and tie it up or take the lead. And it's been working, right? It's been a lot of underneath routes. It hasn't been too challenging. They're just taking what the defense gives them. But so far, it's been an efficient drive, and now they're in plus territory and a chance to continue some of that momentum.
There's the momentum on display once again. More targets getting involved in the second half. Lillian Macias called her name defensively. There she is offensively now for Willowbrook. Has Team Vegas on their heels a bit for the first time defensively.
Marley Smurs done a good job, right? Just within rhythm, getting the ball out, take what the defense gives you, give your receivers a chance. It's been a 5-yard pass here, a 6-yard pass here. A couple times she's tucked it and ran. It hasn't been one big explosive play. It's been a bit more of a methodical drive.
Into the coverage that time, Tia Brown there along with Malia Browner.
It's a fun matchup. So throughout the day, Malia Browner, as we mentioned, her dad is the head coach of the Bishop Gorman's varsity football team, and she's matched up with the star of the Willowbrook offense, Emma Anderlich, the senior, the wide receiver. They've been going toe-to-toe throughout the day.
Two players that love the game so much, and we could hear how much they love it in their voices. Emma Anderlich has kind of had to turn into the vocal leader of this group as well. She says that's kind of odd having all the younger players look at me as their role model, but she, in such a mature way, loves that role too, and has done a great job in it.
She's just a great example too, Emma. I think we came away from the conversation as we were reviewing our notes and talking at dinner last night, just someone that leadership just stood out, right? She is a leader and will continue to be a leader, not only for this sport, but beyond this sport.
That's so true. It was a turnover on downs, by the way, there. The future on display right now, right in front of our eyes. Speaking of what's coming up, we've got Long Beach Poly next in our flag games against in-state rival Serra. So that'll be a fun matchup. It's a rematch of the first girls championship last season between those two teams. But Serra won. Long Beach Poly looking for redemption. So some interesting storylines there, and it's in-state games, so it counts, and we'll go with the California rules. Both of those teams from Southern California.
Hey, red 4, red 4.
These teams playing their second games of the day. Vegas trying to go 2-0 in our Jamboree. They would be the only team to do that if they can hang on. They just made a big defensive stop. Tia Brown has been active all afternoon. There she is on another reception. Yet again, it's always a big play in some way or another,
right,
where it's special teams, defensively, offensively, lives up to the hype once again here.
Watch this route concept. You see a safety right there in the middle of the field. What beats one high safety is crossers. You see all the three receiver side running crossers to the right, and then you set up Tia Brown, your best playmaker, running underneath to the left, and that's an easy read for your receiver, or quarterback, Avery Reed. Just put the ball in the hands of Tia Brown, move the chains, and get yourself in scoring position.
They're trying to put the finishing touches on this one. That was nearly picked off. Mackenzie Edison was on the coverage.
One thing we know about Vegas, Jason, is they're not afraid to throw it deep. They are going to challenge you down the field. They've had a couple interceptions. They're still in attack mode. It doesn't matter. They're still going to throw the ball down the field. They believe in their talent.
Reed will take this herself and scoot out of bounds. Remember, at 1 minute, the clock will stop with the 1 minute warning.
And we all got our eyes on Tia Brown, number 1. I'm going to circle her here. She's going to be at the top of your screen. Right there, that's Tia Brown. That's been the go-to target for Avery Reed throughout the day.
They look the opposite way, but it's another good target. Grace Yeager. We'll see if they mark her down prior to getting into the end zone. She was marked down just short. With 100 seconds to go in this second half, and our final Jamboree game before Long Beach Poly and Serra take the stage. Two California teams getting set to play a game that will matter on their records. And it really hasn't mattered whether or not it's for the records or not in the Jamboree portion. As Taylor noted, these teams all over the country are getting a look at each other, opportunity to go up against the best of the absolute best in the country, and really kind of a marker of where you can set yourself moving forward when you go back to playing teams in state.
Yeah, as far as the record, whether it counts or it doesn't count, that's not the question. It doesn't matter, and it certainly matters, and you can tell by the way these teams have been competing throughout the afternoon. They've been fighting. It hasn't always been perfect. They've been drawing up plays. They've been celebrating when they make the plays. They've been frustrated when they've fallen short. It's really been fun to watch.
It's been an awesome day here at Ronaldo Field. There's our drone shot that I love. So cool. Got to see Taylor in the mix with the Bishop Corman boys team will be on display tomorrow. They were loving the drone shot and now cheering on their girls team, Team Vegas, what they hope will be a win over the next 92 seconds here.
They were trying another one of those reverses, Jason.
They were. Not too late for a little trickery.
Never too late.
Right on cue. A reverse play. And will it end up in the end zone? It will not. She was deflagged just behind the 20, so well short there of the goal line. "60 seconds to go in the third and final of our Jamboree games. It's been a super fun start to this beautiful day in Beaverton. Jake Butt, Jason Ross Jr., Taylor Davis. Watching the future of the game right here at the Nike World Headquarters in the end zone. Look who it is, no surprise, Tia Brown, able to put the essential icing on the cake for this one on the Vegas side.
Well, before the snap, I was trying to highlight it for you. There was Tia Brown, number 1, who scored the touchdown, and 18, Grace Yeager. There she is, coming right from the inside the number 3 slot. She starts off to the flat and then runs up the field towards the green grass. And once again, another easy read for Avery Reed, the quarterback. Field Tia Brown has been wide open throughout the broadcast.
extra point conversion attempt here as we kind of wind down in this Jamboree portion. Families in attendance too. School seeing them hang out at practice yesterday, making this journey, playing through the heat today. Nothing can take away from the fun of this experience. We're going to replay the extra point try. It'll be the final play of this Jamboree game. Just how they drew it up to wrap things up. Team Vegas is the only team that is able to go 2-0 in the Jamboree portion, taking both of their games against Irvington and now against Willowbrook. Awesome effort from Willowbrook today as well. Came all the way from the Midwest around the Chicago area. Team Vegas takes the W, and we'll move on to our next portion when we return here from Beaverton.
Back in Beaverton for the Nike Kickoff Classic. Year 2 of this awesome event. A look at Ronaldo Field there on a beautiful 85-degree day in the Pacific Northwest. Serra versus Long Beach Poly, an in-state matchup. 2 California schools going head-to-head today in a game that means a lot for both sides. Jake Butt, Jason Ross Jr., Taylor Davis with us as well. Jake, these two teams matched up in the first girls championship last year in California. It was Serra winning that 19-18 over Long Beach. So redemption opportunity for Long Beach and for Serra trying to do it again.
Yeah, well, every game has mattered today. We've touched on that throughout the show.
Yep.
But this one matters that much more, right? They know each other well. They have a little bit of history, and there's a chance for Long Beach to go out there and redeem themselves, right or wrong, and for Serra to confirm. Because if you do it once, that's one thing. If you do it twice, you can say that is who we are.
These are two very prideful programs. So pumped to watch as we reset the stage. So different rules in our CIF game. We're going to have 2 20-minute halves. First 18 minutes will be a running clock until the final 2 minutes. Similar and different aspects to the first portion of the Jamboree that you watched. We'll point out those rules as we go along to set the stage for you today. Should be a very, very fun matchup between these two sides. Again, this one does count for both of these teams because it's an in-state game. Both teams from California. We talked about the history between the two sides as well, just having played in the girls' championship not too long ago. Now getting set at midfield. TJ Hushmanzada, former NFL wide receiver. Talked about some of the former players that are in attendance, and Dominican Sue is here as well. How cool is that? We were both big TJ Hushmanzada fans growing up, and now he's an influence for these girls who are influencing the next generation behind them. So many neat stories they'll be able to point out today
main thing for us,
in the broadcast.
This is a game we want it to be fun.
SoCal matchup is coming up here.
As captains, it's your responsibility to make sure everybody on your team's having a good time. If you're doing that, we got a good game, okay? Yeah. All right, so let's see. Polly, you are the home team. That means you're the visitors. You can call this. Here's my head, and here's my tail, okay? So I'm going to let it hit the ground. And what are you going to call?
Tails.
What did she say?
Tails.
Okay, we're going to flip. And it is a head. That means you have won the toss. You want to defer?
Defer.
Okay, that sounds good. So that means it's your choice. I assume you want to take the football, right? Of course. And that means it's your, which direction would you like to go?
That way.
Okay, so you guys are going that way, so you're going to start with the ball going this direction. All right, let's move around. Right over here.
The first year for sanctioned football, and starting right here today at Nike World Headquarters between Serra High School and Long Beach Poly High School.
Bishop has won the toss and is elected to defer. Sorry, Polly won the toss and elected to defer. We're going first down this way.
Long Beach Poly has won the toss.
All right, ladies, shake hands. Good luck. Let's have some fun.
All right.
Good luck.
It's fun, play fast.
Let's go.
All right.
Here we go, defense. D-block, we up.
At this time, please stand and remove your caps in honor of
What's up?
football.
Hey, back up, back up, back up. Hey, back up, hey. We are calling what?
Great way to set the stage for Long Beach Poly and Serra. Set to go head-to-head in this CIF matchup. Two schools from California playing the CIF rules in a game that will count towards their record. You see 3 flags on their waist as opposed to the 2 that were played with in the Jamboree. Doesn't make a difference other than more opportunities for the defensive player, but it's still just 1 flag that needs to be taken off the belt in order for a player to be down. Begin 20 yards out. Serra in the red uniforms with the blue numbers, and Long Beach Poly in the black uniforms with the olive trim and the yellow flags. 2 20-minute halves. Running clock for the first 18 minutes of the half. Jake Buck, Jason Ross Jr., Taylor Davis. Serra starting with the football. Their head coach, Monique Adams, was so amped for today. She's not only coached, but played football the last 10 years for the LA Legends. Some really neat connections between the women's tackle football team in LA, as that ball is deflected and somehow caught by Aaron Carter, the freshman who's really surprised people this year, showcasing her skills early here. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, look at the zip. Maybe that's what caused it right there. Lynn Flores, you warned me, Jason. She loves to throw it up deep. Got a lot of zip on that football, and Long Beach Poly had trouble bringing it down. And of course, Aaron Carter there, ready to take advantage of the opportunity.
Got to be ready at all times. Randy Lynn Flores, as Jake pointed out, the QB for Serra. Really good leader. Loves the deep ball, so we're keeping our eye on that in this matchup.
I love sports, but I love sports when there's something beyond just the moment, right? And the implications of a game, and knowing the history between these two teams, how close they were. Team Serra just barely edging out Long Beach Poly 19-18 to win the first ever state championship last season. I think Long Beach Poly, they had great energy in practice, so I don't want to say it's just because of this game. It seems they always have great energy, but I think both these teams are ready with the opportunity at hand.
We got to experience the Long Beach Poly, I guess you could call them pregame chant. It's almost like an orchestrated dance plus pregame chant.
Yeah.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Replay the down.
Got a false start call there on Serra, and they were amped up before the game. Poly lost that game 19-18 to Serra and had a chance at the end. But Serra made the defensive plays they needed in that game to win by 1 point. There's a really cool article in the LA Times written about that matchup. Now we get to see the rematch here in Beaverton. Bit of miscommunication there on the timing. Looking for Janiyah Marshall, who's new to the roster this season for Serra. Half of the team are first-time players for Serra. They're really kind of building together. They've got a lot of returners as well, but they view this as an opportunity to build up that chemistry.
Now that was a really sneaky big completion, Jason, because if you don't complete that pass, you're probably looking at a punt, right? You don't really have much of a chance, but now you're sitting about 4th and 4. Now you're saying, hey, we can go for it. We feel we can move the chains and keep this drive alive.
They're going to go for it. Randy Lynn Flores, that'll be turnover on downs. The Long Beach Poly defense kind of flipping the script from what we talked about when they last played. It was Serra coming up with defensive stops to win that game. Now Long Beach gets the stop they needed to start, and Rob Schock, their head coach, will watch his team go out on offense for the first time. You see Monique Adams there, the head coach for Serra. Rob Schock's going to fun through. Talked about their pregame dance, all the hype. They live up to the hype on the field. It was business in practice yesterday.
It was fun to watch him practice too, just to observe Coach Schock and the way he coached these young ladies up.
Oh, interception on Aya McClynn's first throw. Serra was able to get the ball back promptly and make their way back into plus territory. So not the start that Rob Schock was looking for. We have seen a number of good defensive plays today. Here's another.
Well, listen, you have all day to throw the ball, and you can see right there on your screen, that's not the place you want to throw it. Right there, you see a defender right in the middle of your screen. You know it's a safety. You know they have a chance to intercept the ball. Tuck it and run, right? Do something else other than throw it to the defense.
Now that sets up the Serra offense for a little redemption opportunity. And Flores goes back to work. Able to find Aaron Carter there. Freshman with great hands. Again, has surprised a lot of people. Is kind of becoming their go-to target.
You get the big defensive stop for Long Beach Poly. You get the ball back to your offense early and then immediately throw an interception. Sometimes that can be deflating to a team. Be interesting here to watch over the next couple plays. How does Long Beach Poly's defense respond now that they're backed up against their own end zone once again?
Tests early on. Back and forth between these two in-state rivals.
Well, that's a great thing about football, right? Is every game matters, right? It's a tight schedule. Every play matters. The games are close. Moments matter, right? So we can talk about the challenges, the game within the game, and here we are early with one. Long Beach Poly now third down. Can you get another stop once again?
The opt to blitz, and I think the pressure forced the quick throw. They do get that stop, brings up fourth down. Now a decision for Monique Adams and Serra on what they'll try to do here.
Here we go.
D, lock up.
Long Beach lining up like they're expecting a play, and that's what they'll get. Flores quick throw in and out of the hands that time of Aaron Carter. So Long Beach Poly able to stand up and respond to the early adversity.
Good stuff, defense.
That's a
Let's
credit.
keep it up.
Hey, way to have
They
your
get down, they get backed up once again in this exact same position as we saw in the first drive. Long Beach Poly bringing the blitz, forcing some decisions early out of Team Serra.
Especially with this, listen, they're running empty sets, okay? So the back is already dictated on the line. Wherever there's the overflow and stuff, safety come up, and if you got this call, other one's coming, okay? Otherwise, we dropping and bailing and playing center field. Good job. Hey, keep playing aggressive, keep playing fast.
So when they line up with no running back,
Yes.
I just go.
So no running back, now the running back's at the slot. So if they're at number 3, that's you now, if it's on your side. If it's not,
In that huddle, saw Stephen Barbie, who's the boys head coach at Long Beach Poly, doing some coaching. He's the assistant for the girls team. We talked about the connections that we saw between Team Vegas and Bishop Gorman and our jamboree between the boys and the girls. Long Beach Poly is another boys team that's also going to play here tomorrow. That's dangerously deflected off the hands of the intended target there. Long Beach Poly still getting into their groove offensively, but super cool to see those connections and teams playing tomorrow, but doing some coaching today.
Bring up second down.
Brought up that LA Times article, Jake, just to kind of display how much it means to these two teams playing against each other. The first line of that article is they screamed, they cried, they embraced after that win. You see right there a quick throw sparking some motion on the sideline for Long Beach Poly as they get their first completion over the middle and a deep shot.
With the reception.
That's Sierra Ho-Chang.
Yep, one of the sisters, the Ho-Chang sisters.
Notice she's wearing number 18, switching over from number 1 too, right, to represent
her uncle.
Her uncle. A couple number changes on Long Beach Poly's roster.
Sister Riel is wearing 28. There's their first touchdown of the day. A deep shot. We thought we might see some explosiveness. TJ Hushmanzada's on their sideline celebrating with them as well. A deep threat in the zone right here is the deep threat on display for Long Beach Poly.
How about this absolute rocket? She's got Janelle Morris, number 5, behind the defense. Last time, the safety was sitting there last time and was able to intercept the football, kind of daring Long Beach to try to test them over top, and Janelle Morris is able to come down with it. Couldn't keep her feet to get into the end zone.
Saw the extra point attempt unsuccessful. They said they didn't get in, so take
Just
that
a
back.
little
No
short.
points on the board. They came up short of the end zone. Now knocking on the door, though. See where they mark this flag down. It's pretty clear that time. You can put the points on the board thanks to the legs of their QB, Aya McClin. Long Beach Poly strikes first.
Say in football, you got to have a short memory, right? So you throw the interception last drive, you come back with a great response, Aya McClin, you hit your receiver, Janelle Morris, on a similar throw to start the drive that you threw an interception on, and then you bunch it in with a little bit of force there, running it into the end zone to get a touchdown.
There's your extra point conversion, and they do convert. So 7-0 start for Poly. This clock again running the first 18 minutes of the first 20-minute half. Hit the 2-minute warning, and then that's when you have the normal stop of the clock. Both teams with 2 timeouts, as you can see on the scoreboard there. 2 timeouts per game. Hey, Taylor.
Well, guys, like you were mentioning, an excellent response from quarterback Aya McClin following that interception. You've also mentioned TJ Hushmanzada, who's down here on the sideline, and following that interception, he actually came over to her, pulled her aside and said, hey, relax. You didn't need to rush that. You didn't need to throw into pressure. Slow it down. Play your game. I looked at her and I said, you think that's some advice you should listen to? She said, absolutely. He knows what he's talking about. Just another level of this experience for these young athletes, but definitely showed her maturity in being able to apply it so quickly.
TJ, California native, Oregon State alum, back in the state where he played his college ball and now doing some coaching with the next generation of talent in this country. More good pressure there from Long Beach Poly, and their sidelines fired up again.
Just the energy of Long Beach Poly stands out. It stood out at practice yesterday. It was apparent in our interviews with some of the players, of course the coach. And then we highlighted them pregame, doing their pregame dance, singing, and every time a play gets made, this sideline gets excited for each other.
The timeout called here. By the way, we talked about TJ Hushmanzada, and Taylor had the awesome note. TJ's gotten into coaching himself in different sports. We've discussed being just a well-rounded athlete. TJ has now been coaching softball. His 2 daughters, Carrington and Kennedy, play, and he's now gone from NFL wideout to softball coach, kind of a jack of all trades. And just the importance of doing different things. We've seen so many of these athletes yesterday, and a lot of them do play different sports, whether it's soccer, softball, track, volleyball, and they're all kind of in season as well, training for different things. How important is that to learn different aspects of what you might love in life, number one, and then also just helping you out as an athlete?
Yeah, well, I grew up playing multiple sports before I got into football, and it was always my understanding that Football's one of those sports that other sports make you a better football player. Football, basketball, soccer, track, those all funnel into the talents needed to be a great football player. And then for TJ, I always wonder, you know, when guys retire, how do they transition away? What do they do next? TJ's one of those guys, certainly a great player on the field, but a leader in the community, in the Cincinnati community, and then the chance to come back and coach softball and coach the next generation, to share some of those principles that allowed him to be an NFL great and have such a successful career. What a blessing for those young ladies that he gets to coach on the softball team.
He said that he became obsessed with the aspect of coaching in softball, a sport that he didn't play really, but then got into it, just like people are getting into this sport and seeing it on TV on platforms like this, and you quickly realize how amazing it is, how talented these athletes are.
Obsessed is a great word, because it's not an accident how you reached the level he did playing for the Bengals and throughout his NFL career just by guessing, right? He was obsessed with his craft. He was obsessed with his process. And then when you retire from the game, there's kind of a void, because what can you obsess over next? And it's a mystery to find out what that next step might be for him. What a great chance to not just find something you love, but to effectively plant seeds for the next generation. Coaching is one of the great jobs of service, and to coach the youth in his softball league, and what a valuable thing for that softball team.
He played with another good Oregon State product in Chad Johnson with the Bengals. Back in the state, he played his college ball. See this replay here in a nice run.
And a bit of an injury too.
Yeah.
So I believe that is
Cindy Santos on the run, and then the Serra player goes down. That's Rochelle Thompson.
We've seen some collisions out here. I mean, it's flag football, right? But you have to get up in somebody's face in order to rip the flag off, and there's been no fear from any team that we've covered throughout the broadcast. There's been some collisions, and everyone's popped up and showed their toughness.
I think from our broadcast vantage point, we feel the speed of these teams.
Absolutely.
And how, I mean, the DBs going up against receivers is really fun to watch. That is caught in the end zone for a Long Beach Poly touchdown. Yara Ho-Ching, who we talked about, wearing the number 18 today. Able to get the connection there with her QB, Aya McClin.
I love it. Once again, Aya McClin, to start off the game with such a frustrating interception, and we heard Taylor say she kind of rushed it. There was a similar situation. There was no need to be rushed, and she was able to stay patient and find her receiver Ho-Ching for another touchdown and a chance to now take a commanding lead early here in the first half of this game.
They were trying to go back to Tiara Ho-Ching, one of the Ho-Ching sisters, her sister Kiel, also on the team. And
great energy too, huh?
Awesome energy. That was a super fun conversation with her and a few others on the Long Beach Poly roster yesterday.
Such bright smiles.
Bright smiles the entire time.
They were messing with each other. Sometimes they fight like sisters. They celebrate together. They challenge each other. It's an easy team to root for.
Right, and they want this team to be great.
Well, we've talked about challenges, right? And talked about early in the game the Long Beach Poly defense needing to beat the challenge. Now for Serra, you find yourself down 2 scores early in this game. It hasn't been perfect offensively. How do you respond?
They did move the ball in that first drive they had. This time on the receiving end of Sile Howard, one of their leaders who actually made the game-saving pass breakup in that championship game that we talked about defensively against Long Beach Poly. Long Beach Poly had a chance in the end. Ultimately, Serra won that game 19-18. First girls championship for the school. Now these teams matching back up today in Beaverton, Oregon, after a couple of flights up north yesterday. Randy Lynn Flores pass broken up that time. Cheyenne Clark making a nice play.
So far, it's been, everything's really been underneath. Within 5 to 7 yards of the line of scrimmage, Lynn Flores has been hitting all the underneath routes. But she talked to us and our team, and I know you and I talked about it off air. She said, hey, I love the deep ball. I love to throw it downfield. I'm wondering if they're setting that up. Everything's been underneath thus far in the game. I wonder if at some point we see Serra set up a double move and take a shot down the field.
You see each team here. Gotta love the uniforms, Jake, as well. And Polly yesterday had on their whites. We're in the blacks today. Serra with the red uniforms on. Each side, of course, with the Nike kicks on the campus here of the Nike World Headquarters. Here at Ronaldo Field. Some quick work here. 90 seconds to go in the half. Bursting out of some initial trouble that time. I mentioned the kicks here on the campus. They got some inspiration on the sideline for their very own Taylor Davis.
I mean, look, one thing about me, my sneaker collection is something I take a lot of pride in. You know, the Nike store, I did some damage yesterday, but Nike was kind enough to gift us this lovely pair of low-rise dunk shawl, and I'm feeling fresh. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like my sideline performance is elevated out here today because of my shoe game, you know? I really, sign me up for every Nike event ever.
Taylor, you were the best influence to have in the Nike store yesterday.
I tried.
Some say a little too good.
A little too good.
Yeah.
Like
I left with 2 bags.
Sorry about it, guys.
Second down.
Can't fall short of some good-looking swag around here.
You know what they say? Look good.
Play good. Feel good.
Play good. Have a great call.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all related.
Flag came off before the down. We're going to replay the down.
Now, Jason, Long Beach Poly, Team Serra had the ball to open the game, right? So that means Long Beach Poly will get it to start the second half. That just adds to the importance here. Already up 2 scores, a chance to go up 3 scores and get the ball at half, and it looks like 3 scores will be had.
Aya McClynn's pass adds on to that. Another deep shot. This Long Beach Poly team not afraid of the explosive plays. Second time we've seen Tiara Hutching hook up with her QB Aya McClynn today on the deep ball.
Breaking news, you got to have your eyes on number 18, Tiara Hutching. She's been the favorite target all day from her quarterback, Aya McClynn. And I'll tell you what, they have great smiles. We saw them in our interviews yesterday, and there's no better way to smile after a touchdown than to go celebrate with your teammates.
Plenty of time here on the extra point conversion. Unable to get it. The break up there for Serra. So the score remains 19-0. Sideline dancing to the tune of that score right now. Getting closer to halftime here in our game that does count for
49 seconds remaining in the half.
California schools playing the CIF rules today. 2 20-minute halves, 18 minutes of running clock, and now we're in the final 2 minutes of the half where you can have the stoppages. And both teams on their respective sidelines right now, getting set to make their way back out here for the very important final 49 seconds of this opening half for Serra. Nike kickoff classic year 2 here in Beaverton. Another short throw. You get the sense they're trying to maybe get Sayel Howard in the open field somehow, kind of a screen type play. Can't screen, but trying to set her up out on the open field.
Yeah, they've been trying, right? I mean, that's what we've seen it all half, so I don't know that trying has to turn to something else, right? It's been underneath, it's been tough sledding. Obviously, you find yourself in a really tough position here, down 19 points to start the game. At some point, you have to let your quarterback air it out.
Okay, you're going to line up inside.
Timeout called by Serra, maybe trying to draw something up here.
All they're doing
Their
is
QB Randy Lynn Flores is known for the deep shots. Maybe we get one. Let's go to Taylor for more on Serra.
Well, guys, it was like when we were at practice yesterday and talking to the coaching staff. You guys have mentioned it a lot. Of their former players have moved on, only 4 returners, a team of mostly 9th graders, and their coach said they're learning to become athletes. You know, criticism shouldn't hurt your feelings. It's meant to make you better. It's those small things that I think you're seeing out here, just the development piece of that team camaraderie, that individual, you know, receptiveness to that criticism, and also game time situations. This is certainly a learning experience for them going up against a very veteran Poly team.
I love when they said it was like a college experience being here. Here's the completion they were looking for. But again, the Poly defense right there on cue to keep it a short gain. Teresa Noon able to make the play defensively there. Winding down to the final play of this opening half.
And that'll bring us to halftime.
They don't get it off, and that'll take us to the half. 19-0 start, predicated on the explosive plays of Long Beach Poly, looking for a little redemption against their in-state rival.
Back at the Nike Kickoff Classic, year 2 at the beautiful Nike World Headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. Ronaldo Field, our location for this final. We had 4 games today. We're to our 4th game. 5 teams in action on this field. And the girls' flag side, our boys' tackle game is tomorrow. Long Beach Poly, Jake, they came here to win and they came here to be explosive.
Yeah, they've been led by their quarterback, Aya McClin, as well. Starting off, it's football, right? You start off with an interception, but we're not going to show that because this is her highlight reel, and there's been plenty to show. Her favorite receiver is number 18, Tiara Ochin, getting behind the team Serra defense a number of times to be able to capitalize on some long touchdowns, and her quarterback, Aya McClin, has seen her and put the ball on the money.
She was the MVP of USA Football Talent Search Combine. And we're seeing why today. And how about the resilience, too? Let's not forget, there was an interception on her very first throw of the day, Jake. But then she bounces back the next drive and has not looked back since. MVP-type stuff.
And she's got some great guidance on her sideline, too, after the interception. As Taylor mentioned, TJ Hujmanzada, the NFL great receiver of the Cincinnati Bengals, comes over, puts his hands on her shoulders, say, hey, calm down a little bit. Remember, you're the USA Football Talent Combine MVP. No time to worry, no time to panic. Slow down and go do what you do. And she did what she did throughout the rest of the second half.
How about that chain? That's pretty awesome.
Putting the whole USA
representing the country.
I mean, the best of the best.
Best of the best. They're representing California today, here in Oregon. Both of these teams are. They know each other well.
She's been the MVP of the day today as well, Jace.
She definitely has. Excited to see what the second half has in store for us. And as you noted, they wrapped up opening half with a touchdown, and now they're going to get the ball to begin the second half. Looking for redemption after losing to Serra 19-18 in the first girls' championship last year in California.
It's been interesting to talk about, though, the roster turnover from Serra. Almost a new team, right? It's the names that matter, right? Serra got the best of Long Beach Poly, but this is a brand new Serra team, much younger, a lot of turnover. But Long Beach Poly doesn't want to hear that. They're ready here. They're ready here to attack and right this ship in the right direction.
Another deep completion there. That's been the name of the game.
And another chant by the Long Beach Poly sideline. They're saying, she's a freshman. Better get to know her name.
Gain of 17 yards. Has been in charge today of this offense. The developmental portion of the game too, Jake, as we talked about. You went to a camp out in these parts.
Oh yeah.
You know it well. And just the excitement of flying out here in general. I mean, the Serra team, half of the team we were told first-time flyers. Like their parents are checking in to see how the flight went. And like it's just a cool experience all around in so many different aspects. There's a pass down the seam and another gain of a chunk yardage there in the passing game for Long Beach Poly.
Yeah, no, I went to, it was Nike, the opening. Almost a decade ago. I can't even believe it. I was a sophomore going into my junior year of high school. I had to get a chance to compete, as we've talked about. It was the top 150 high school players in high school football at that time, and the chance to say, hey, I think I'm one of the best, and go out there and prove it. And I remember the butterflies, too, getting on the plane. You talk about the experience. That's the cool part about sports, is so much of sports is the experience. The butterflies as I packed my bag and got on the plane, and the curiosity, hey, am I as good as I say I am? Can I prove myself? I know that's what these young ladies have been asking themselves throughout the week, and then finally, you get to finally take that leap of faith and get out here on the field and actually compete and play at such a beautiful stadium on a beautiful campus, as you've highlighted a number of times, Jason, here at the Nike World Headquarters. It just encapsulates what is a world-class experience that I'm sure none of these ladies or coaches or family members that are here will ever forget.
It's been amazing for these players, been amazing for us to experience. Another deep ball. That time Serra able to get the coverage. Janelle Morris is the target there. They were looking for her in the end zone. This has been a world-class event put on by Nike once again this year. It's going to be cool to just see it continue to grow and grow. We had Irvington in our Jamboree come all the way from New Jersey. I mean, it is a coast-to-coast event. The California teams now playing against each other. Both teams now go to their sidelines. There's Rob Schock,
All right, let's go.
Long Beach Poly head coach. He couldn't say more wonderful things about all his players yesterday. I mean, he said, I got 2-3 wonderful things to say about just about everyone on my team, and it is such an honor to coach them. You really felt that from the voices and the hearts of all these coaches. And he talked about the growth of this sport too, and you could feel how much he loves it and loves his team. They said it's like a family. Brings up 4th down here. So we'll see what Long Beach Poly opts to do. Already up 19. Try to get this conversion. And doing it with the legs of Aya McClin, but the flag was taken off at about the 30-yard line.
The quarterback keeper. That'll be enough for a Long Beach Poly first down. First and goal.
So that'll be enough for the first down. Brings up 1st and goal. So now just trying to get into the end zone. McClin's had a number of targets she's looked to today. Finds another touchdown.
All right, so take a look on the right side of your screen. They're going to run a post route with Tiara Hochin, who's been the go-to target all day of Aya McClin, and then you're running the wheel route right behind it. And Team Serra has no idea about that wheel route. It's initially to the flat, but then there's no help over top to stop it. And listen, Aya McClin, she can make it even when it's difficult, but when it's wide open, it makes it that much easier for your talented quarterback.
Trying to go for the extra point conversion there. Couldn't quite convert. Looking for Neela Bagley, but they do get points number 25 on the board. Now in the second half of action, the offense has been moving like a machine. Now the Serra offense getting set to come back out. Their coach, Monique Adams, they call her Coach Mo. So energetic. Love how much she loves this sport. It's because she plays this sport herself. She had the last 10 years for the LA Legends, and the relationship between Serra and the LA Legends actually played a key role in the birth of this Serra program, because the LA Legends would use the Serra field and the facilities for their practice, their tackle football practices in LA. And then that's how the team started, and just getting involved in flag football and now seeing it grow in LA and multiple teams in California. Just really neat to feel the roots of it, and quite literally correlated with their head coach, who again has been playing for the last 10 years for the LA Legends, and then they still use the same facilities with Serra. So it's super cool to see right on hand and at your own school the influence of what you can be down the road. And again, the Serra team now will influence the next generation of players.
On that note too, Jason, I feel a good coach leads by example. Right, as a player, you should look up to your coach as someone that is further along the path of where you want to be. So for Serra, all these young ladies, as they're starting their football career, living out their early football career to have a coach that they can look to. Wow, you've been doing this for quite a long time, right? Everything you tell us to do in practice, you practice your own self,
Yep,
right?
that's why you listen to your coach.
That's what makes a good coach, exactly.
Howard pass completed to number 2, Howard.
Well, you try to listen to your coach. It makes it a little bit easier when you know, oh, okay, you want us to run gassers after practice? Oh, you run gassers after practice. Okay.
I wonder if Coach Mo runs them with her team.
That's a good question. Maybe Taylor can.
Maybe she could just be coming off practice and then practicing coaching with her team. So you never know. Yesterday,
well, you run gassers in football. At some point, we're all running gassers.
They made me want to get out on the field and do some running yesterday, which is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I did it. I my knee, couple knee surgeries later, I would have watched you.
We had a recovery time yesterday, just from watching. Here's a run, the big play. Serra Howard, that they were looking for, couldn't get it in the first half. They get it in the second half. The sister of Sael, Serra, able to get her team on the board.
Jason, you talk about wanting to get up and run. How about this? This is a great shot of the vision. Look at Serra Howard. This is a QB draw all the way. And where's all the defense of Long Beach Poly? Nowhere to be found. And if you're behind her, if she gets a head start, good luck catching her. It's a great read just to start. Hey, Serra, we're going to give you the ball. You need to run and run fast. But Long Beach Poly was not prepared. It was a parting of the Red Sea, and Serra Howard does the rest. Right down the heart of the Long Beach Poly defense.
48 big yards there for Serra Howard.
False start. Offense, 5 yards. Replay the down.
Again, her sister, Sael, is number 2 on the Serra roster, one of the leaders for the team. Had the game-saving pass break up in the championship game last year. Multiple sisters that we've seen throughout the day. They're sisters on both teams. On the opposite side for Long Beach Poly, Tiara Hoching, we called her name a number of times, it feels like, multiple touchdowns. Her sister Kyle, same story.
Football is family.
Extra point is no good. With 10:40 remaining. Long Beach Poly.
You feel like a part of the family too when you're here. And it is, as much as they're competing against each other, it's that feeling too of coming together for one common goal of growing this sport. There's the unity aspect of it, and then there's the competitive in-state rivalry nature of it too. Kind of getting the best of both worlds.
And in a sense, those are kind of related, unity and rivalry, right? Respect, but wanting to beat you. And you guys got us last year, but we're going to get you this year. We'll see you again next year.
Dylan Schock knows all about that. She's the daughter, you just saw on your screen there, of Rob Schock, who's now on your screen, the head coach of Long Beach Poly. Dylan grew up around so many different football players, some Oregon roots in her family as well in terms of football. Her cousin Alex Austin played for Oregon State. Her other cousin Dalen Austin played for Oregon.
The play on the quarterback keeper.
She said the seed was planted when she was very young in terms of her love for the game. Another player we spoke to yesterday, just awesome personality. Actually gave a little wave to our booth before the game started too. We're having a ton of fun out there, and so are we.
Well, it's funny because I asked her yesterday, I said, hey, you got a cousin Alex Austin, you got a cousin Dalen Austin, both of them play defensive back. So I said, okay, well, who's your favorite defensive back to watch? Expecting her to say someone within her family. You know what she said? She said it's actually Travius Hodges-Tomlinson.
Yep.
Who was the TCU defensive back, had a great season last year and was drafted to the LA Rams with the 182nd pick in last year's draft. So I guess it would have been too easy to pick one of your family members. She went with the TCU draft pick, now part of the LA Rams.
It's fun to hear players talk about their love for defense, and she loves being a shutdown corner. We need someone to lock up those tight ends every now and then, Jake.
No. Tight ends are always open, Jason. Nope. That's an impossible task.
Intended for number 5, Janelle Morris. They'll bring up 4th down and 13.
Beach on offense now. By the way, we might have a fun conversation coming up with Coach Rob Schock, so stay tuned for that. He's got an awesome personality. Just felt his love for this sport right when we started talking to him. His QB, Aya McClin, has been awesome today. He battled through the initial imperfection as well. The one blemish was the interception on the first pass that bounces back with a few consecutive touchdown passes on the ensuing drives. Looks like we got a timeout called. Remember, each team gets 2 timeouts. Second annual Nike Kickoff Classic here in Beaverton. Teams from all over the country. These 2 California teams going head to head. Rob Schock's team getting the redemption that they were looking for so far in this matchup after losing last season to Serra in the state championship. Let's go down. We mentioned Taylor was going to talk to Coach Rob. Here he is.
Yeah, Coach Schock joins me now, obviously looking toward the field at your team. You told us yesterday this group gets the job done, but they have fun. How have you seen them do that so far?
Same thing right now. The young ladies having fun, playing well, executing. We just got to continue on making the right plays, rotating our ladies in, getting work in. So I'm just very proud of them doing what they're doing and playing tough out there. So we appreciate it. So.
You're not just a coach, you're a dad. And you beam when you talk about this opportunity, not just for your daughter, but for your team. What's all of this been like, the event Nike's put on?
I mean, it's just a blessing for us, a lifetime, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these girls. For me to share it with my daughter is a memory that we'll have, for the rest of our lives. And, I'm a girl dad. I have 2 daughters, and I consider them all like my daughters and treat them that way. And so, I mean, they're very appreciative, very, thankful, and I just love coaching them. It's a great, they give me a lot of energy, and love just coming to practice and working with them each and every day.
We've seen a lot of adaptability and maturity out of your girls already, an early interception and then a touchdown the very next drive. How impressed with you of their individual receptiveness to your coaching?
I think it's the girls, being smart and being coachable and really understanding that we whatever happened the last play, we leave it alone, we go to the next play. And we have to play by play. And we want to execute each play efficiently. So we don't want to dwell on what happened in the past. We want to move forward and progress. And that's it, offense and defensively, get to the next play and do what we need to do.
We've talked about your quarterback, Aya McClin. She's definitely shown out here today. What kind of development have you seen in her?
Oh, just the maturity, growing and learning the sport. She's a natural athlete, great young lady, coachable, fun, just her spirit, and then she's competitive. I mean, very competitive. So I just, I'm glad to have her and glad she's on my side. I'm glad I don't have to play against her.
What's your hope for the future of the sport, Coach?
Oh, I just continue to excel. I just want to make this foundation great and continue to grow. I mean, building this program for Long Beach and being able to represent California and the city of Long Beach and just continuing to go on from there. I have to get on the offense here unless Coach Keith called it. But Coach Keith, go ahead, call it. Call it, Coach.
Always competing as you should. Go enjoy it.
Always. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for being out here, and thank you guys for having us. Okay.
Gotta love Coach Schock. A big thank you to him. He's laying down the pavement for the future of this sport, and he can feel it. And now he goes right back to his coaching, handling the offense.
He said, "Yeah, I'm a dad. But really, I look at all these young ladies as my daughters, right?" And when we talk to the players, they echo that exact same thing. So, he's kind of like a father to us, right? He treats us in that way. He loves us, he cares for us, and that was our observation from watching him coach. Coaching is an act of service, and the best of the best take that very seriously. And watching the way he taught and had patience and emphasis for every little detail with his team yesterday was really fun to see.
Definitely was. And he was so excited to bring us over to his players and have us talk to them, get to know them and their love for the game.
McLean again, looking over the middle this time. She's had herself a day, the QB for Long Beach Poly, the MVP of the USA Football Talent Surge Combine. It was a chance for redemption today for Long Beach Poly against Serra, who they lost to last season. They came out with intensity. As you said, almost had to calm down the intensity. TJ Hushmanzada, former NFL wideout who's in attendance today, kind of helped him out with that in the huddle. And Dominican Sue is here as well. And now they're capping it off with some more icing on the cake. That is a Long Beach Poly touchdown. Add another one onto the board to take back to California. Five total teams here today.
It's a really nice grab, too.
It was. This is our fourth and final game of today. These Long Beach Poly girls, as was that catch?
She came down
here, somehow made it in the back of the end zone.
They said she was just out of bounds.
Just out of bounds. The effort, though. Yeah.
Your score, Long Beach Poly, 31. Serra High School, 6.
No gloves, too, huh?
You like the no gloves look?
Dallas Clark. I wore no gloves for a good bit of my career.
It's a gritty look.
Yeah, and then I played with some guys that would just throw the ball so hard that I said, yeah, I need a little bit of padding on there. And then they made the gloves almost technology. You have to wear gloves. It's hard to drop a pass with those.
I feel like I need a new pair of gloves. Smith Nike headquarters. You can't leave without a new pair of Nike gloves.
Good job. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Hey,
Guys, I just have one final thought. Watching all 5 of these teams out here today, you know, we've talked about the athleticism, we've talked about the game IQ. I don't think we can overstate the toughness of these girls. Being right down here in the action, down here on the sideline, they are going for it. I mean, these girls are diving for those flags. It's not a tackle game, but there's some contact out here. And look, they're not out here in shoulder pads, you know? There is such a toughness and a grit to this sport. I think it's an aspect of it that should be, you know, encouraged and praised, the toughness that you see in these athletes.
Taylor, how about Tia Brown earlier going down with the injury and that collision on the sideline, then comes right back and gets the pick 6 and had a couple of other big plays as well.
It's such a great example. I saw her down here on the sideline. She was getting that ankle taped, and I looked at her and asked if she was okay. She was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Not even a question if she was going back out there. This level of just competitive fire and toughness that I have seen out here from these athletes is so impressive.
Been incredible. Such a memorable day. These 5 total flag teams that got to take this field here in Beaverton today. Long Beach Poly's going to get this win and celebrate it accordingly over their in-state rival. Great effort from Serra as well, a team restocking their roster. Big seasons bound to head in California for both teams. We got to see these 2 squads go head-to-head. Our Jamboree portion, Ferguson, Team Vegas as well, Willowbrook, all were awesome to watch. Again, our tackle game tomorrow, but today, the toughness, the grit, the energy, the love of this sport, building one of the most fastest growing sports in the world. And we got a first-hand look at it, my friend. It was an absolute blast from beautiful Beaverton for our awesome crew, Jake Butt, Taylor Davis, everyone back in the truck. You guys are phenomenal. These teams showed out, and it was a fun day of football. A wonderful setting that means so much for this game moving forward. I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long. We've got more action tomorrow, but for now, time to sit back and celebrate this.